This is Fitness Blender's Lean Mean Legs Thigh and Butt Workout. For this routine, we're going to be doing a 7-minute warm-up followed by 2 rounds of 9 different exercises that we'll do for 50 seconds each. Let's go ahead and get started with the warm-up. We're going to start getting that blood flowing with a nice easy jog in place. Now it's a good idea to try to limit that impact on your ankles, knees, hips, and lower back by doing this on a soft surface, either carpeting or a nice thick mat. And we're almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. We're going to go ahead and switch to the next one, the pull down kicks. Now this is a nice easy motion. Bring that leg up as high as you can, get a nice high kick at the same time as pulling your arms down. So basically every time your leg comes up, your arms come down next to your sides, and every time you drop your leg, your arms go back up above your head. Just make sure you're alternating legs back and forth each side every single time, and you're making sure you're trying to keep that motion as quick as you can but still under control. And just about 5 seconds left. And go ahead and let that one relax. Moving on to the next one, the skip extensions. It's just a nice little skipping motion, kicking your heel back up behind you right before you kind of kick it out in front of your body just a little bit. Just keep alternating back and forth. Now there's a relatively leisurely motion. You don't want to really get a real fast kick on this one. It's just kind of slowly hopping back and forth from leg to leg. Now you are going to feel this quite a bit in those calves and up into those thighs after you've been doing it for a little while. Almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. Moving on to the next one, the lateral taps with arm swings. This is a nice one just to open up those hip joints and those shoulder joints. So nice and slow, just step back and forth. Try to kick that leg back out behind you as far as you can. It's more about how much range of motion you get out of that leg than it is the speed at which you're doing it. So take your time. Really try to get that leg back behind you. Try to get a little bit of a lunge motion with that front leg kind of squatting down just a little bit. Work on those thighs. Get those thighs a little bit tired, as well as a little bit into those shoulders and that butt. And we're almost done, just a few seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's move on to this traditional jumping jacks. It's a nice quick motion. Those legs come apart as those arms go above your head, and then those arms come back down to your thighs as you snap those feet back together. Just keep that motion going as controlled as you can, nice and quick. Try to get that cardio up. Good job. We're almost done. About 5 seconds left. And go ahead and let that one relax. We're moving to pendulum hops next. It's a nice easy motion, just back and forth, hopping back and forth from leg to leg, kicking that leg out to the side every single time. Just imagine yourself as the pendulum of a clock, just moving those legs back and forth left to right. And we got about 5 seconds left. Just one more exercise for our warm-up. And go ahead and let it relax. Moving on to this last one, the jumping oblique twist. So with those hands, you're going to have them up about shoulder height, rotating those shoulders left to right, and then rotating those hips left to right in the opposite direction. So try to turn those hips and shoulders in the opposite direction every single time you jump. So those shoulders are going to the left, those hips are going to the right, then reverse it back the other direction every single time you hop. All right, we are almost done. And go ahead and let it relax. All right, we're going to start into our regular routine, 9 exercises for 50 seconds each. Let's go ahead and get started with round number 1. Our first exercise is the Captain Morgan figure eights. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Balancing on that right leg, you're going to bring that left leg up, making a figure 8 motion. So imagine that 8 is laying on its side rather than straight up and down. So it's laying on its side, making that nice figure 8 motion up across the left, down through the middle, then up across the right, down through the middle again. Just back and forth, trying to keep your balance as best you can the entire time. This is a great one for overall balance as well as hip strength and hip control. We're almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's switch sides. We're going to do the same thing with the other leg. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. All right, standing on that left leg this time, that right leg's going to come up, making that figure 8 motion. Remember that 8's laid on its side rather than pointing straight up and down like normal. So nice fluid motion up across the right side, down through the middle, up across the left side, down through the middle. Just keep rotating it back and forth. You're going to feel this a lot in the top of your thigh, but primarily you're going to feel it in the front of your hip. Those abdominal muscles are going to have to engage a little bit to help this motion, so you're going to feel it quite a bit through the front of your body. As well as on the opposite leg, you're going to feel it in the back of that hip, on the side of that hip, from having to keep that balance. We've got about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's move on to the next one, the inner thigh W's. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Starting out on your right side, you're actually going to lift your whole body up off the ground just a little bit. So you're pressing down with that left leg. And then that right leg is going to do a W motion. So you're actually going to write a W with that leg. So you're going to keep that leg pretty much in line with your body, squeeze it up really nice and high, then drop it down, making a nice U motion almost, coming up so it's kind of about a 45-degree angle. Squeeze that leg up really nice and high, drop it again, bring it forward even more, so it's about 90 degrees off of that hip. Squeeze it up again, really nice tight squeeze at the top, and then reverse that motion. So go back to a 45, then back to straight in line with your body. And we're almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move to the other side and do the same exact motion, just on that opposite leg. Go ahead and get ready. And begin laying on that left side. Remember, bring those hips up off the ground just a little bit. And then you're going to start that motion, raising that leg in line with your body, get a nice tight squeeze at the top, then dropping it down, making a nice swooping motion up to about a 45 off of your body, squeeze it up there, and then again at a 90. Just make sure you keep that motion nice and slow under control, keeping those hips up off the ground just a little bit. You're going to feel this quite a bit in the inside of the thigh of the left leg, the one you're actually using to do the motion. And you're also going to feel it on that right leg, the inside of that thigh and the rear of that thigh, the whole time you're trying to keep those hips up, because you actually have to engage those muscles to keep those hips up off the ground. You're also going to feel it in those obliques, those abdominal muscles, and that lower back. Almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, now we've got a static ski squat with rear leg lifts. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Dropping down into a quarter or a half squat of a ski squat with those feet really nice and close together. You're going to nice and slow bring one leg back behind you and extend it out the same time as you're extending those arms up above your head. Then bring those hands and feet back down, then alternate onto that opposite leg. So just keep alternating back and forth, left leg, right leg, left leg, right leg. At the same time, bringing both those hands up every time you extend one of those legs behind you. Just remember, this is a static squat, so you want to try to keep down in a low squat the entire time. The lower you go, the harder it's going to be, but just start at least at a quarter squat like we're doing here. Now you're going to feel this exercise quite a bit in your thighs and in your butt from holding that quarter squat, but you should also get a really nice tight squeeze on that butt every single time you lift that leg up back behind you. Now those core muscles are going to have to stay engaged, but you're also going to feel it a little bit in those shoulder muscles as well from every time you have to lift those arms up. We're almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, go ahead and drop down to the ground. I'm going to be doing swinging bridge next. Go ahead and get ready. And start it up. Bring those hips up really nice and high. Then slowly swing those hips back and forth from left to right. A little bit of a dip in the center, and then squeezing up really nice and tight on each side. Just keep that motion going nice and slow under control, making sure you get a tight squeeze every single time you come up to that left side or that right side. Now you should be feeling this primarily in that hamstring, the back of that thigh, as well as those butt muscles, especially those butt muscles, and then that lower back as well. And we're almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's move on to the next one. The U side leg lifts. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Propping yourself up on that left side, you're going to lift that right leg up as high as you can, straight in line with your body, then keeping it hovering just a few inches off the ground, bring it up in front of your body as close to a 90 degrees off of your chest as possible, then lift that leg up again as high as you can, then back down to that original position. Just keep switching back and forth, nice and slow, controlled motions. Make sure you're not kicking your leg. It's a nice slow squeeze every single time. Should feel this quite a bit to the outside of your thigh. Your front of your thigh is going to be working a little bit as well as that hamstring. You might even feel it in the top of that right oblique. Almost done with this side. And go ahead and let it relax. We're going to switch sides, do the same thing on that opposite leg. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. This time propping yourself up on that right side, lifting that left leg. Same exact motion, bring that leg up as high as you can, straight in line with your body. Then bring it in front of you, about a 90 degree off of that hip, off of that waist. Bring that leg up again as high as you possibly can, and then back to that original position. Just keep alternating back and forth, get a nice tight squeeze every single time. Remember, this is a nice slow motion. You want to do it really controlled, making sure you get a really full range of motion. And we're almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is the crossover crab leg kicks. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Bring those hips up really nice and high, propping yourself up on those hands and those feet. One leg's going to come up, cross over top of the other leg, then bring it right back down, then repeat with the opposite leg. Just keep alternating back and forth. Try to get that leg extended as straight up over top of those hips as you can every single time, as well as trying to keep those hips up off the ground as high as you can, making sure you have a nice straight line from your shoulder all the way to your knee as much as possible. And we're almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. And go ahead and flip over onto your stomach for the next one. We've got the frog leg lifts next. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Lying face down with those knees kicked out to your sides. Put those heels together, the bottom of those feet together. Then nice and slow, squeeze those legs up off the ground as high as you possibly can. Get a nice tight squeeze through that butt and through those hamstrings. You're going to feel this on the inside and outside of your thigh as well, just a little bit, because they're going to want to try to tense up on you. But the main thing you should be feeling is all in that butt. And we're almost done, about 5 seconds left. And go ahead and let it relax. All right, moving on to the next one, the seated leg lifts. This looks like a really easy motion, but this is actually a really challenging exercise. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Those legs right out in front of you. Try to keep that knee as straight as you possibly can. That upper body as straight as you can. That lower back nice and flat. Lean forward just a little bit and then lift one of those legs at a time up, out to the side, and then back down again in front of you. And then alternate over the other leg. Do the same thing on that side. Just keep alternating back and forth, trying to get as much range of motion out to the side and up as you possibly can without letting your chest tilt back. Now, if you need to, you can lean up against a wall for this one to actually give you a little bit extra help. Otherwise, place those hands back behind you and actually use those to push your chest forward. Just remember, you want to keep that lower back and that upper back perfectly flat, straight up and down, or leaning forward slightly. Now, you're going to feel this engaging in your abdominal muscles just a little bit, but primarily you're going to be feeling it in the front of your hip and the top of your thigh. You're also going to feel a little bit in the inside and outside of your thigh from moving that leg out and in. Almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, moving on to the next one, the squat side leg raise. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Get a nice deep squat in the center. Then as you come up, you're going to lift one leg up and off to the side as high as you can, keeping that leg nice and straight, as well as trying to keep that torso straight up and down, trying to lean out away from that leg. And then just go drop right back down to that squat and lift that opposite leg the next time. Just keep alternating back and forth, making sure you're getting a really nice deep squat every time, as well as lifting that leg really nice and high out to the side. Just remember, nice controlled motion. You never want to actually kick that leg. You want to feel like you could actually pause at any point through that motion. Now, with any traditional squat motion, you're going to be feeling it quite a bit through the top of your thigh, your quadriceps, the back of your thigh, your hamstrings, and also your butt muscles, those glute muscles. So on top of those muscles that you're using for that squat motion, you also have that side leg raise motion, which is going to focus on the outside of that hip, outside of that thigh, as well as a little bit on that oblique. So every single time you lift your left leg, you're going to feel it on your left oblique, and your right leg is going to feel it on your right oblique. We're almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, that was the end of round number 2. Go ahead and pause it here if you need a little extra rest. Let's go ahead and get started with round number 2, starting back over with the Captain Morgan figure eights. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Balancing on one leg, you're going to bring that opposite leg up, making that figure 8 motion. Remember that 8 motion is laid on its side, not straight up and down. Just up to the left, down through the middle, up to the right, down through the middle again, and then to start it back over again. Just keep that motion going nice and slow under control, trying to keep your balance as best you can. Almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the opposite leg. So go ahead and switch legs. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Same motion, just on that opposite leg. This time with that right leg, make that nice figure 8 motion, up to the right, down through the middle, up to the left, back down through the middle. Almost done, 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next exercise, the inner thigh W's, starting on that right side. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Bring those hips up off the ground just a little bit, using that left leg to kind of pull those hips up. You're going to move that right leg in that W pattern, up straight in line with your body, then off to a 45-degree angle, then off to a 90-degree angle, then back again to the 45, and then back straight in line. Just keep that motion going back and forth. Nice, slow, controlled motions. Make sure you're not kicking that leg. Almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, go ahead and switch over to the other side. We're going to do the same exact motion on that opposite leg. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The static ski squat with a rear leg raise. Go ahead and get ready. And begin squatting down to that quarter or half squat. Those feet really nice and close together. Extend one leg back behind you as you lift those arms up above your head. Bring that leg back down as those arms drop, and then switch it off to the other leg. Just make sure you get a really nice extension on that leg every single time, and you're constantly staying down in that quarter or half squat. Almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, the swinging bridge. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Laying on that back, bring those hips up really nice and high, then slowly start swinging them back and forth, dipping them down in the middle, squeezing them up on the left, dipping down in the middle again, and then up to the right, squeezing again. Just alternate back and forth, trying to get a really nice tight squeeze on each side, as well as trying to get as much range of motion as possible. Almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, going on to the next exercise, the U side leg lifts. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Laying out on that left side, you're going to lift that right leg straight up in line with your body, then bring it in front of you about a 90-degree angle off that torso, lift it again, then back to that starting position. Just keep alternating back and forth. Nice, slow, controlled motions, trying to get as tight of a squeeze at the top as you can, really trying to work on that range of motion. And we're almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. We're going to do the same thing on that opposite leg. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Laying it on that right side this time, lifting that left leg up. Again, straight in line with that body. Then out in front of you, about a 90-degree angle off that torso. Lift it up again, and then back to that start position. Remember, as much range of motion as possible. Trying to get a nice, smooth, controlled motion. And we're almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, the crossover crab leg kicks. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Bring those hips up really nice and high. One leg's going to come up, kick it straight up in front of you, then cross it over top of that opposite leg. Kick it back up again, and then drop it right back down. Then do the same exact motion with that opposite leg. Just keep alternating back and forth, trying to keep those hips as high as you can, trying to get that leg extended up over top of that hip as much as you can every single time you kick it up. Almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, the frog leg lifts. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. With those knees kicked out to the side and the soles of those feet pressed together, you're going to lift those thighs up off the ground as high as you possibly can, getting a nice tight squeeze to those legs, those inside and outside thighs, those quadriceps and hamstrings, as well as really focusing on those glutes, getting a nice tight squeeze on those butt muscles, lifting those thighs up off the ground as high as you possibly can. And we're almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, moving on to the next one, the seated leg lifts. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Tilting that chest forward, keeping that back nice and flat. You're going to extend that leg straight out in front of you. Make sure that knee stays nice and straight. Your leg comes straight up off the ground. Bring it out to the side as wide as you can go. Then slowly bring it back in front of you. Drop that foot to the ground and then do the same thing on the opposite leg. just trying to get as much range of motion on as you can out to the side, as well as trying to get as high off the ground as possible without letting your chest lean back. You want to constantly keep that back straight, leaning forward. And 5 seconds left on this one. And let it relax. All right, go ahead and move on to the next one, the squats with the side leg raises. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Dropping down into a nice deep squat in the middle, feet just about shoulder width apart. You're going to come back up, lifting one leg up off to the side as high as you can, as high as is comfortable. Keep that knee as straight as possible. Keep that torso straight up and down. Then drop right back down into that squat again. Coming back up, going on to the opposite leg. Just keep alternating back and forth every single time, trying to really focus on getting a nice deep squat and a nice high leg raise without turning it into a kick. Should always be a controlled motion. Almost done, about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. Good job, you just finished another one of Fitness Blender's butt and thigh workouts. Now make sure you go do a cool down and stretch.